473 words is not feasible at IELTS. That's a lot of words. Hi there, and thank you for submitting your essay for assessment at IELTS Juice. Let's go through the rubric first. Now, I'm going to read it completely and a little bit slowly because we want to analyze what the rubric actually asks us to write. Some people will want, not believe, want governments to spend money looking for life on other planets. Interesting. So we have a group of people who believe that governments should allocate some budget to finding life on other planets. Let's see if we are alone or not. Others, now before I continue, we say planets, you know, so we don't say worlds or I don't know, asteroids or other places, because we assume life is on the planet Earth and it's a planet, so we should be able to find life on other planets, not moons, not asteroids, certainly not stars or black holes. So this is a fair assumption. Others, however, think this is a waste of public money when there are so many problems on Earth. Well, rightfully so, there are other people who believe that, well, why are you wasting actually money on wild goose? There's no wild goose on the other planets. It's an English phrase, on a wild goose chase. So we're not going to chase any any kind of geese. So that's a joke. Basically, we don't want to waste our money. There are multiple problems on the planet, from poverty to education to, I don't know, inflation, housing, health is also an issue. So why are we searching for something that we don't know even exists or not? That's a fair assessment. So we have two schools of thought and we want to analyze them. Let's look at the question part of the topic. And the essay type says, discuss both these views and give your own opinion. So we have a task now. We need to first discuss these views. So there are two views, as I just said, and we need to allocate enough time to each one. So there should be enough time to the people who believe let's allocate some budget and search for alien life forms. And there is another group who believe we should allocate some time and money and budget and everything, not to, I don't know, waste money on some alien life form. We have human beings who are in deep trouble. Let's help them out. Okay. Now that we understand how to shape and analyze, and before we go, later we get the chance to actually say our opinion. We can now move on to the response. All right. While some people argue that governments should spend public money seeking life on other planets, it's a very good sentence part, others completely disagree, considering this initiative a waste of money that could be used to solve more important issues. This is a great opening. This is a great complex sentence, very good control. There are some advanced elements here. Again, in this opening, the standards are set high. So this is a very good one. I'm happy with what I just read. Some people are probably curious about the existence of other forms of life outside the Earth. Very good. So, some people are probably curious about the existence. Are these people different from this group? Like, yeah, there's some people they search, and there are other people who disagree and they believe that's a waste of money. So this is a paraphrase of the rubric. We introduced both groups here. There is another group here. Some people are probably curious about the existence of other forms of life outside the Earth. Are they another group of people? Hmm. I'm not very sure about this sentence. This could be the reason why they are willing to invest money. Yeah, you invest money in something, or you spend money on something. So invest in or spend on. This kind of research. Okay. What kind of research? The form of life outside of the Earth. Yeah, there is some research in it, not other than it's more like an expedition. But again, okay, I'm fine with this. We're getting into technicality. That's not the IELTS's job, so fine. However, public money is that to invest. Hmm? First, I have a little bit of issue with this. I don't know, is this part in contradiction, sorry, with the previous one? However, public money is that to invest. But let's put that aside. I have a more important issue. Public money is that to invest? I think this sentence is grammatically wrong. I think the writer wanted to say that public money is meant to be invested in such fields, probably. I am writing now. I shouldn't be writing in my head. I shouldn't be adding words here. I'm speculating. So the sentence is not correct. The message is not 100% conveyed. So I am the reader and I cannot understand what is going on. And I have two full stops. So this is a standalone, independent, self-sufficient, self-reliant sentence, but it's not. I don't like that. Consequently, as a consequence to what? All people should agree to allow such an activity. In my opinion, looking for life on other planets is pointless. Fair, that's the personal opinion. Since we already, we don't need any punctuation marks because since creates complex sentences. Since we already have a place to live, all right? We already have a place to live, planet Earth. In addition, I think that the money we pay to governments should be spent with more responsibility. So, from this beautiful introduction, apart from a couple of areas that definitely need improvement, I believe it's a very good introduction. And I also understand that there are two main groups, although I don't know why curiosity is over here. There are two main groups, and also the writer believes that this is not the best way you can spend money. A pointless is a very strong disagreement. Pointless means the whole argument is a waste of my time and public money. And also the writer's opinion comes into a second part. there's a second part that it says the money we pay to governments should be spent with more responsibility. Now, it's accurate. How? I guess in the following paragraphs, we will get to know more about this. So this is how a reader's mind is shaped. I am telling you what is actually going on in my head. Now I continue. This is the first body paragraph, and it's quite large. It fits my entire screen. Life on other planets like Mars or Jupiter. Whoa, the writer has some knowledge of astronomy, which is great. Is a fascinating and widely discussed topic among people. Which people? We were supposed to say which group. Some of them show a big interest, which is a weird collocation. It's not a very good collocation in discovering if life really exists outside the Earth. Okay, we could have started this paragraph from here. We really didn't need to add anything. I don't know. They wonder, for example, if extraterrestrial species exist as well as for other species of human beings. Oh, they wonder if they exist as well as for other species of human beings. Again, it's a bit weird. I'm not sure the message is completely conveyed. They may be willing to get in touch with them and discover something about their lifestyle. So a little bit referencing issue, they, them, their. So this they is actually human beings who believe, I mean, this group of people, they may be willing to get in touch with. Them is probably aliens or the extraterrestrial species, and discover something about their, again, alien lifestyle. So we have too many pronouns here. I don't like it. It gets confusing. I was able to understand. It's risky. As a consequence, just to satisfy their curiosity, now this there is not aliens. Now we go back to human beings. Again, the same group. They, another pronoun for the human beings who believe that it is good to invest money to search for terrestrials. Invest public money. Again, we invest something in research and expeditions. Very good. I love it. Very good understanding of vocabulary, very good range of vocabulary into space, which are very expensive and reduce the funds of a country. All right, so far we focused on the first group. On the other hand, those who are not interested in discovering new forms of life think that money should address more important and pressing problems, very good collocation, that occur on Earth. Okay, lovely, lovely. The issue I have here is that we should devote a new paragraph. This is another group of people. We shouldn't put both groups of people in one paragraph. These two groups contradict each other. They fight. One believes in this, the other completely disagree and believes in something else. We shouldn't force these two into one paragraph. Actually, it's done quite well, but now we have an issue that our topic sentence for this body paragraph becomes repetitive. Plus, it's outside our capabilities at this point. We are not very good writers to be able to put both contradictory opinions into one paragraph. In a real world, it's possible. But for us, when we want to sit the IELTS test, it's very stressful. and the result is the same. So this is completely unnecessary. It's an unnecessary stress. So if I were the writer, I would have avoided this system, and I would devote one paragraph to the first group and one paragraph to the second group. I always do that. For instance, the renovation of archaeological, oh gosh. I mean, I really love the range of vocabulary here. And historical sites is a really argued issue. I really don't like this. It's not wrong, it's weird nowadays, as it is fundamental for tourism. Okay, if it's fundamental for tourism, we should get some explanation on this. Let's see. Governments may renovate castles, museums, or historical buildings to allow tourists to visit them. Good. However, this problem cannot be solved if the public funds are wasted on other futile aims. Wow! Futile aims. I like the vocabulary, really. The range is very good. The range of less common vocabulary items like futile, pressing problems, archaeological. I'm happy to read all this. I'm really, really happy. So the paragraph ended, and as I can see, there's another paragraph focusing on the writer's opinion. In my opinion, seeking life elsewhere should not be a primary necessity. Rather than looking for better life conditions outside of the earth, people would better invest money on Earth itself so as to develop a better environment to live by solving the existing problems. So here you don't invest in Earth because you basically invest, it doesn't have any prepositions. And this one on Earth, meaning generally on Earth is a term meaning to invest somewhere tangible, somewhere that has some reality, not just some dream, fantasy dream of searching for human like aliens or some alien forms, and you know, maybe you find them or not. All right, so you invest money on Earth itself. Okay, so on Earth itself. Yeah, maybe itself is extra, but anyway, so far okay. For example, we would spend money to improve the education system, which is correct, providing more competent teachers and well-equipped schools. Oh, I love those suggestions. To form the students effectively, I don't know what it means to form the students effectively. To form students. A little weird, but okay. And raise the level of global education. This is fine. In addition, people make a huge effort to work and save money. I believe that wasting it, this refers to the money saved by these people, by people in general. Wasting it on unnecessary things would only make people angry about government's irresponsibility, and this could end up with complaints and protests from the citizens. I don't know why all of a sudden the people became citizens. We didn't say they're urbanized. They don't necessarily live in cities, but okay. We want to show our range of vocabulary, but this is not the best way. To conclude, even though people might sometimes be blinded by curiosity, okay, it is important to think smartly and consciously to contribute to the development of a collective well-being, which all people can benefit from. Okay. I'm not comfortable with this, but I see gaps in the message, but I'm following the writer. Rather than looking for a better place to live, we can make the place where we live a better one. Only this way can we live in a good and functional environment. This grammar is called inversion. And there are attempts to use complex grammatical structures and advanced complex grammatical structures, but it's not always successful. 473 words is not feasible at IELTS. That's a lot of words. And as you can see, we are exposing a lot of our errors. Let's look at the band descriptors together. There we go. Okay, one good thing about 473 words is that, well, we addressed all parts, we discussed both views, and we expressed our own opinion. We also had an opinion in two sections, and we mentioned them and we addressed them, and we also gave some examples. Cool. But at many points, I had to think about the audience. And in many cases, we had some people, many people, citizens, and all these people all around. My main focus will be on coherence and cohesion, because we were supposed to arrange some ideas accurately and logically. I I found an organization, but it wasn't logical. It was coherent, clear. I had two opinions in one paragraph and the writer's opinion in another paragraph, but the organization and the system uh, wasn't 100% clear. What comes after next, what's next. You see, one thing to understand is when you read the introduction, you automatically have a picture of what is expected to come. And when you read and all of a sudden you realize that, oh, now when did we change, what happens, that means, uh-oh, there's something wrong. And when that happens, we may get 5 or 6. 5 happens when I'm completely confused as the reader. 6 means there is still some levels of arrangement and it's coherent, but the logic that tells me how things come one after another is not there. This also pours out into this area inside paragraphs again, especially the first body paragraph where we squeezed in both ideas. We just had overall progression. It wasn't supposed to be like that. I had issues with, however, in some cases that was really contradictory, or was however used accurately or not. We also had some overuse of these discourse markers. We had rather than twice, which is rather repetitive for such a less common structure. Referencing, I had multiple issues, especially in that in one sentence we had 3 pronouns. We didn't know which one is which, and I had to come in and explain which one I believe is which one. And paragraphing is not always logical. Again, I prefer 2 separate body paragraphs for 2 separate opposing views. I have to commend you on the range of vocabulary. Bravo. And less common lexical items are there. Not with 100% accuracy, but yeah, with some awareness, some accuracy. And then we go into the errors. The number of errors were, well, significant and noticeable, but thank God they did not affect my understanding. So I was able to digest the message regarding the vocabulary. That's not always the case for grammar. There were instances, maybe two, yeah, where I had to ask what it means. I didn't understand the message. And we also attempted complex structures, but they weren't always successful attempts, and they are relatively accurate, not 100%. This essay gets a 6, but it's borderline 6.5. What it needs is first paragraphing, most importantly, and better introduction, better, not in case of grammar and vocabulary, better arrangement of messages, of ideas in the introduction. The range of vocabulary is great. The writer is definitely knowledgeable. The writer tried to talk about the things that are interesting to him or her. So I'm happy overall with the result. This deserves a higher score. Just there are elements, very isolated elements, that they need improvement. We need to spend some time. I hope this feedback has already helped you understand what areas to improve, and you will start improving them. And I hope I will be able to see the other improved versions. We already took some time and improved this one. You may find it down below on the IELTS Juice website. You scroll down under the assessment, you will find the improved version. We usually improve essays to 7. You will be able to see that there are still some rough parts, but overall, it's an essay, it's a sample based on your work that will have the chance to get 7. Well, until next time, take care.